Bitcoin, we start with 1 hour chart. Just I want to give a quick update. And if you refer to our analysis, since the price was here, we mentioned if we get any drop, we can look for buy. We get the price reverse, but there was no trade setup. And even we mentioned, since the price almost at the top, we need to be quite careful because the way is moving, either we should wait for the more complex correction before we take the trade, or even not, we need to be aware that may this one give us a reversal. Okay, by the way, we want to see how we can trade it, and in this case we start with the higher time frame. We start with daily chart. As we can see, the price what we want almost near to the previous top, the highest price 60, almost 62k. That's why we want to see if there is a continuation for the breakout, and if we want to buy from here, we need to be quite careful because we don't want to buy at the top, then this one turn to a bigger correction, to more complex correction. All right, because we mentioned whether we put this one in relative to each other as a running flat, but the question is how about this? All right, how about if this is the running flat and this is the, because since this one broke the previous top and this is the last wave and this one turned to more complex before we get the next move. All right, I don't mean this one is going to be more complex. There is a possibility. The only things I want to highlight, buying at this top is really risky. We need to have a proper trade setup. Okay, and even if we move to forward chart, if we refer to our analysis, since the price was within this move at this low, we have been looking for buy, and this is what we get. Okay, now the question is here the prices start to correct. If you want to buy this, I mean, within this move, we need to be quite careful because the way it's moving is really corrective. And even as we can see, we start to see the divergence is losing the momentum. All right, for me, if I want to look for buy, either if there is a continuation from here, either we have entry above the stop or we wait for the breakout of the 62k, then any flag, I mean, we can, any trade setup from there, we can look for buy. But if we want to buy from here, either we wait for the more complex correction that can confirm the next move, or if we get any trade based on lower time frame, we consider as a short-term trade. Because if we get a trade, we see it's not moving, we don't stay with the trade, and still we can expect this one to become more deeper. At least we can look for this flat. Rather than that, we don't have any other option. Can we have entry above this? Still we can. It depends on the traders if they can manage, because easily the price can take and reverse. That's why we don't want to buy at the top. Okay, for me, if I see the opportunity, I will put the entry above this. But we need to just follow the chart and we should know how to manage it. Or either we can look for the sharp move flag, even if we don't want to wait for the breakout of the previous top, which is here. All right, that means any trade, as long as the price haven't broke the 62k within this range, we consider as a short-term trade. As long as we get into the profit, we start to manage. This is what I can say. All right, and whatever we have right now, we don't have any trade setup. As I explained, how we can look for trade, unless this one turn to a correction, then maybe we can get a better trade setup. By the way, the only things right now we should do is whatever the trade we have within this move, we should know how to manage. And we know if we want to look for trade setup, either we wait for the more complex correction, better confirmation to look for trade, or if we get any trade with a sharp move like, we consider as a short-term trade. By the way, we just follow the chart. If I see any update, I will share. Thanks.